Hi, I'm Brian. Welcome back to another On the Road video brought to you by ApplianceVideo.com. Stop! Before beginning any repair, always be sure to disconnect the power to the appliance. It is also recommended to test the outlet for proper voltage.
All right, today we're looking at an estate electric dryer, and the complaint is that it will not start. So we're gonna put this on a time dry cycle and hit the start button. Nothing happens, no sound, no anything. We'll open up the door here and take a look. I get no light. This model does not actually have a light. So while we're here, we'll just take a look at our door switch. We can hear the switch clicking, so it seems to be okay without actually testing it. One thing I'm gonna do is, okay, I can hear that timer actually running. So I know our timer motor is running and advancing. So we got some kind of voltage at least going to the timer, and it won't start. The tools needed for this repair are a 1/4-inch nut driver, a small flat blade screwdriver, and a multimeter. All right, so we're gonna check for proper incoming voltage at our outlet here. First, we're gonna go between L1 and L2, and we're getting 240, which is correct. And then L1 to neutral, we get 120, which is correct. And L2 to neutral, we get 120 as well. So our incoming voltage at the outlet is good. And just to show you here, what we did is between, this is L1, L2, which either one, you can name them L1, L2, or L2, L1, L1, L2. So between here and here, L1 and L2, we had 240 volts, and then between L1 and neutral, 120, and then L2 and neutral, 120 as well. Okay, so with the dryer not starting and we can hear power going to the timer there, we can start in a couple different places. You could take your back panel off and check your thermal fuses and everything there. What I'm gonna do is, which would probably be the most common thing to do, is actually check your fuses, because on an electric dryer, your thermal fuse, if it's bad, it's not going to start. What I'm gonna do is remove our control panel here. There's gonna be 2 Phillips screws, one on each side at the back of the unit here. All right, we're gonna remove this back cover of our control panel. Some 1/4-inch screws. All right, we have the unit plugged back in, and we're gonna be going to the timer here with our meter, and we're gonna be going on the timer contacts, the light blue wire and the black wire right next to it. And then what we need to do is make sure we have our door closed, so our door switch is engaged. We want the timer in a heat setting. I'm just going on a time dry setting there. And right now we have 112 volts there. And if we press start over here, it stays at 120 volts. So basically the blue and the black wires here are our motor circuit. And when we push the start button, it should drop down to 0, letting us know that the switch is then closed, sending power down to the motor, and it's not doing that. So from that test there, we can tell that we do have a bad timer. And there's one further thing we can do to test this out. And we're going to now install a jumper wire between the black and the blue wires here, and see if basically bypassing the timer contacts and then therefore starting the motor on its own. All right, with the unit unplugged, we can go ahead and install a test cord or a jumper wire there and there on the light blue and black wires. Okay, now we'll plug the unit back in. And on a heat cycle time dry, we're gonna push the start button. And you can see now that our dryer did start up. And this way you can check and make sure there's no other issues with any other components. And this definitely 100% diagnoses a bad timer. All right, so for this repair, we're gonna need to replace our timer. We've unplugged the unit, and then we'll remove our jumper wire. All right, so I'm just gonna use a small flat blade screwdriver to release this tab on that harness. And these other ones we should be able to pull off. Okay, we're gonna tip the control panel back this way, remove the timer knob. And there's 2/4 inch screws to remove. Remove the old timer and install the new one. Reconnect the wiring harnesses. And our knob. All right, next we can reinstall our control panel cover. All right, and now we can reinstall the whole control panel assembly. There's these 3 tabs on each side that go into the 3 slots. And then once they're in, pull back on the control panel. And then we can reinstall our 2 Phillips screws to hold it in place. All right, so with the new timer installed and everything hooked back up, we're gonna go ahead and test it out, start it up. And it is running, so that will complete your repair.
Thank you for watching another quality video brought to you by ApplianceVideo.com.